does a show, Freedom Radio. So you see him on. Say what's good to the people.
We live and direct, y'all. Good to be here with y'all, live and direct. Yes, indeed. Right on.
Okay, so we're gonna just ask some. I'm gonna ask you some questions, and then maybe then people will also be calling Fred into his show and ask some questions, and let's have a good conversation. So first, let me say that I met Chairman Fred, Comrade Fred, after he was released from being incarcerated, and I don't know if this is right, but did you come on September 11th, 2001, right?
September 14th, 2001.
Right. So, I mean, everybody knows what happened during 9/11.
Yeah.
Fred was released from being incarcerated 3 days later. And I had known, obviously, the story of Fred Hampton. Well, let me not say obviously. I had to go to college to learn about even the Black Panther Party. But at that time, M1, who is part of Dead Prez, was visiting Chairman and doing a lot of work. And I had just met Dead Prez in Brooklyn, and he asked me if we could take Fred on a tour, and we did, and that was in 2001. So we didn't have any social media, everything. I think I cold called people, but we were on tour for at least a year and a half. So I've been really lucky to not only know Chairman Fred. I learned so much. You spent so much time together with someone, and he was always willing to answer any question. So first, what I always tell people, Chairman, is that most people don't grow up in a movement household or an organizing household. That's not your reality, but that's the reality of a lot of people. So for me, even though I grew up in New York City while the Bronx was burning and it was the 70s and hip hop and all that, I didn't know about the Black Panther Party, the Young Warriors Party, or anything. I had to go to college to even understand that why I, as a Puerto Rican, was an American citizen. And once my eyes were open, I just began to devour information. And the reason I learned really about your father was because I then began to be connected to elders in the Young Warriors Party, and they would always talk about that history. So, I mean, you were born when the state didn't want you to be alive, since your mother and you were in her womb when they assassinated Fred Hampton, Chairman Fred Hampton, as well as Martin Clark. So you did grow up in a movement household. Yes. What did it mean for you? When did you first understand who your family was and what your legacy was?
First and foremost, let me say, right on for the opportunity to be here. As far back as I can remember, as far back as I can recall, I just, it was a case, a well-known case, one of the many cases that the state had bogusly given to Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. And one of the cases was the Good Humor ice cream truck robbery, in which the state claimed that Chairman Fred supposedly took $75 worth of ice cream from Good Humor ice cream truck and gave it to the children. In which his defense was, his position was that even though they lied on me, they made me out to be a thief, they made me out to be a Robin Hood type of thief, they still showed the true nature of a Panther. But I'm pointing that out, being the fact that I recall growing up, even when the ice cream trucks would come down the street, I vividly remember I would have to wait to see, to make sure that it was not a Good Humor ice cream truck. And just even I was continuously, saying from my mother, the movement, and definitely state agencies, saying of who I was. I can recall being inside police stations, saying they had would appear to be fresh photos of Chairman Fred Hampton. In one case, I remember it was a younger Chicago police in the 7th district, and it happened to be about 7 people who had the same last name, Hampton. And he said, "Which one of y'all is the son of Fred Hampton?" In fact, and the older police came in and said, "You don't have to waste your time." And he pulled out the photo and he placed it to each one of our faces, and I was about the 3rd person. And he said, "That's your man right there." So this is again, and sometimes it's I've told my family members, I say maybe it appears to be that we may be subjective at times, because things that we take as a grant of knowing, the role of the police, the schools. I recall getting suspended from school just for simply writing about Chairman Fred and the Black Panther Party. So again, long as far back as I can recall.
So December 4th, 1969, for those that don't know, was the evening that the Chicago Police Department, with the help of FBI and other forces, assassinated, shot into the house where Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. was at, Mark Clark, and your mom, Mom Okua, who you were in her womb. I mean, to me, I know this, but every time I see you, it's like they did not want you. They actually didn't want anybody to survive in the house, but they also knew that your mom was carrying you, right? So they were like, well, his son can't survive.
Yeah.
But she did. And can you tell people about that evening and how many shots went into that house? I mean, it's by the grace of the ancestors, and we're not super religious people, but the ancestors must have surrounded you and your mom at that moment, because nobody was supposed to walk out of that house, period.
I recall an introduction before I spoke one time. I think it may have been St. Louis or Detroit, I forgot. And the sister was introducing me. She said that they made a technical error by leaving me alive. And the deal, I've said on many occasions that my birth certificate came close to being my death certificate. Again, my birth certificate came close to being my death certificate. The Chicago Police Department, under direct under direction of the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations, they were armed with a floor plan so detailed that they even knew what pack of cigarettes would probably be at inside the house. They had went so far as to make a group of young brothers who had done unofficial security for Chairman Fred on the block, the 13, 14 years old. The YMCA had came and gathered them and sent them out of town on a winter retreat. Members of his staff were placed inside, isolation in infamous Cook County Jail. And when the Chicago police, when they came in, when they came in shooting, they fired. It was, even by their own accounts, it was over 99 rounds fired into the home, and all the shots were headed towards the head of where Chairman Fred was at. His wife, his now widow, my mother comrade, who had just turned 19 years old a few days prior, literally covered down over him, and she had recognized what this many people had to find out through the autopsy, through the independent autopsy, that the state had put a Seconal, a knockout drug, inside the beverage the night prior. And even to add insult to injury, when they came in, when the Chicago police came in after they assassinated defense guy Mark Clark, shot and wounded other members of the party, police had pulled out, and she had Chairman Fred's robe on. They opened the robe, and I see on many occasions that the first piece of steel I ever came into contact with, as opposed to a doctor's stethoscope, was a Chicago Police Department's revolver being placed on my mother's 8.5-month pregnant belly. And then to add insult to injury, they took her and the remaining survivors and they placed them in jail, locked them up. And again, this is December the 4th, 1969, and I was subsequently born 25 days later.
And then I think about how young your dad was. I mean, I think people like tell people how old he was, because the impact, the little time he was here in the world, the impact, I mean, it's still here, and he was so young.
Yes. I think it was Lenin who said that what takes people 20 years to learn in ordinary times, they learn in 2 years in revolutionary times. And you put it in the context, this organization, the revolutionary leaps and bounds that they were making. They took no days for granted. In fact, as Field Marshal George Jackson of the Black Panther Party said they recognized there were no guaranteed tomorrows. And Chairman Fred, who was targeted before he was even actually Chairman Fred, as we've seen in other cases with a FBI found him Abu Jamal when he was 15 years old, before he became deputy misinformation, but they had recognized Chairman Fred's organizing capability early on. And at the age of 19, he was the deputy chairman, and under his leadership, the largest chapter of the Black Panther Party. The survival programs, you know what I'm saying, such as the free breakfast program, we fed a minimum of 3,500 children a week. It was Chairman Fred who was the actual author of the Rainbow Coalition, contrary to many people who've been misinformed, believe it was Reverend Jesse Jackson or the likes. It was Chairman Fred, and he was assassinated when he just turned 21 years old. Actually, August 30th. We matter of fact, we on the heels coming up on his birthday celebration now. He just turned 21 years old, August 30th of 1969.
And of course, again, not assuming that people know clearly about counterintelligence and the COINTELPRO program. If you don't know about it, definitely you can just look it up real quick while we're here. But the man that your dad trusted and was his bodyguard, William O'Neill, was an informant for the FBI. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, just the premise with this, that to this day, there's a lot of misinformation, in regards to the Black Panther Party, and even I've and those who know Chairman Fred did not trust William O'Neill, and in a lot of things, a lot of moves that on the outside looking in is without the in-depth or the analysis or the working to how the Black Panther Party worked, in regards to such things, such dynamics as democratic centralism, the structure of the party, it's how people had to move. It was an organization which, it was a structure and accountability. I mean, for example, on the outside looking in, people may say, well, Minister UEP Newton and Field Marshal George Jackson, they hung out, they were great buddies. But actually, they never actually met each other face to face. The closest, what I'm saying, and I'm definitely not putting that in the same context with Chairman Fred and O'Neill, but I'm trying to get a setting of what type of organization this was. This was, and we, and it's kind of like, I think it's important to put it in context. I recall being in El Salvador, and I was talking to some children of what they refer to as the conflict that occurred in El Salvador, and some people on the outside could not understand how a lot of the parents were just they were convening a meeting, and they were meeting about a wall with the names of those who were assassinated, and this was the first time a lot of the parents of children were actually getting their actual names of of people who had children together. And on the outside looking in, people say, "Wow, wait, what you mean? How were you in a relationship and you didn't know this person's actual name?" And then after the discussion was laid out, how intense the agent provocateurs were, the counterinsurgency, the state, it set up a climate where they had to assess and they had to adapt, like this, how they related. So, like, even in the party, it was a structural organization where people say, well, I think everybody liked each other or based on trust. It was, like, not only within the Black Panther Party, but even outside the coalitions and the relationships. And I'm not to sound stoic or cold, but these were as well as today. They was not only intense times, they were recognized as intense times. And they were, and it was a structure and accountability that, like I say, his role, he was the chairman. And you had at the time you had the deputy minister of defense. You understand who you had cadres who. So if a person was on, like, for example, Cool and Jerry, formerly known as Deborah Johnson, not only was that was his wife and comrade, she was on the finance committee. And and so when people hear about her, the comedian Nipsey Russell, not for the younger audience, not the hip hop artist Nipsey Hussle, but the comedian Nipsey Russell, he talked about when he met my mother. He say, here come this lady, pregnant, belly out. He said she came talking with a donation. He said he can't exaggerate. He said she had these bandoliers of bullets across her chest. But he said, I told her I'm not gonna get nobody no money for no guns. And but next day he came and put an envelope under the door for the free breakfast program. And when people hear it, they're like, man, your mother was she was pregnant. She was still out there, you know what I'm saying? She was out there organizing. And that context of the science of it, it's I heard from other people, not even from my mother, but how they were shooting at the police was shooting at the Panther Party office, and she was still going in there. How the party selling Panther papers. So if people can kind of grasp that there were people. It was a job to be done, and I'm saying, and you came into contact, and I'm so passionate about this because I can relate to it right now today. There are forces who I had to work with who, in fact, I mean one individual who was exposed, for lack of better terms. I remember it was known. I said, if we were free, I wouldn't even know this dude. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even be, you know what I'm saying? However, dude, I tell people, I said, if you ask some people what they would do, then ask what they would do for their children, you'll get a different answer. If you ask me what I would do, who I would deal with for the struggle, and Chairman Fred was a servant of the people. Um, O'Neill was William O'Neill, who the federal government had placed inside the Black Panther Party, who had supplied the floor plan. And let the record reflect, he was not the only agent provocateur. You know what I'm saying? But he supplied the floor plan. He was putting this is way back then when the government approached him about things he was doing with stolen cars, and they put him in. And that's to put in kind of context to a lot of these youngsters now that hear about, like people say, I can't believe, this person, they have a psychological profile. Like, even there's a lot of discussion about the assassination of Tupac. People say it was just a simple drive-by. But you listen to the guy, he tells you how the FBI had a psychological profile on the guy who said he was involved in it. And that's what they did. They had a psychological profile on William O'Neill. They approached him and they placed him inside the party. You know what I'm saying? Even right before the party headquarters even opened.
And also, I think there's a conflation often around the civil rights struggle and Black power. And as a historian, it's something that always bothers me. I don't like when people are like civil rights icons, Fred Hampton, or civil rights organization, the Young Lords, right? Because they weren't civil rights. They were paramilitary organizations that believed in self-defense and self-determination, international solidarity, but we're also anti-capitalist. And so when I see all the speeches of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr., in every one he is addressing capitalism, right, and imperialism. And that makes him dangerous, period, right? Like that's what made Dr. King dangerous in the last parts of his life. It wasn't just about, quote, integration. It was, okay, we're going to have a Poor People's March. That's when he's assassinated. When Malcolm says we're going to link up with Black people on a Pan-African politic, that's when he's assassinated. And I mean, the way your father was able to really make it clear, and as well as the original creator, the creator of the Rainbow Coalition, but also what he meant to so many people. But I think that's something that we really have to stress to people, that this was a Black power. This was Black power. This was not civil rights. Per se.
Yes, and to this day, there it remains an attempt to as well as Malcolm said. I think Malcolm was referencing the initial march on Washington, and he said the initial position, the initial fire, the initial position that was going to be taken from the people that were marching on Washington D.C. and how the state, the system, their position was, well, we can't stop it. Let's co-opt it. Let's water it down, change it, make it something to be. And so even as we've seen then, as we see now, there are continuous attempts to water down who Chairman Fred, who he was, and he made it very clear. He made it very clear who he was, and he done it in a way that did not make it necessarily antagonistic with other people who came from other schools of thoughts. We're taught in the colonized community, amongst other things, that if it's different, it has to be an antagonistic contradiction. You know what I'm saying? But the deal is, with Chairman Fred, with the Black Panther Party, what they laid out, they acknowledged contradictions. They met contradictions head on. They recognize whether it be the race contradiction or the class contradiction or what have you, and even like different arenas. You know what I'm saying? They say, okay, and this is something that was and I mean, across the board, we've seen it with, in cases with Fannie Lou Hamer had to make it very clear, like, no, this Dr. King does not, speak, represent the issues we're talking about, and that we've seen with, again, with Chairman Fred was a charismatic, courageous organizer, able to form coalitions, but still never compromise. He made it upfront. He was, in fact, not only that he was a revolutionary, that the price to pay. Many people under the assumption that some people had to be, they couldn't know, they had no idea what they were going against. They couldn't believe that you can get killed for this, and they did. It wasn't some sort of romanticism. They, what I'm saying. I mean, they they studied the history of imperialism. They on an international level, what I'm saying, it was mandatory. The political education was mandatory, and not just in the theoretical way. What I'm saying. I mean, out there, so people can relate to the terms like liberating. They can relate to the terms in their everyday lives. So they can connect from the free breakfast program on the west side of Chicago to, saying, to whether we're talking about in Africa, whether we're talking about, in the Philippines, wherever the case may be, where a society where people produce what they consume and consume what they produce, and people were able to, through the Black Panther Party newspaper, through Chairman Fred's speeches, through going to the Spurgeon J. Winters Medical Center. Here, through seeing the programs of the Black Panther parties initiating the testing for sickle cell anemia, seeing these programs, and not just seeing these programs, engaging in these programs and making leaps and bounds. You've seen it impacted every genre. When you've seen such groups of the white group of poor whites from the Appalachian Mountains, young patriots, have some points of unity. You know what I'm saying? Also the Black Panther Party. We see the young lords, leadership of Cha-Cha Jimenez. You know what I'm saying? Chairman Fred, one of some points of political unity. You see the various street organizations, the street tribes, the Stones, Disciples. You know what I'm saying? Where they get up and have some points of unity. And even what the federal government said, when the Black Panther Party was in existence, there was a record low to what they call black on black crime. And I met some of these individuals who, and I still talk to some of the individuals, and they knew, the state knew, and I'm saying this in as objective as I can, they knew Chairman Fred's ability to go, and organize, and without being engaged in dogma, not engaged in elitism, and recognizing with people there and say, what point, where you at, how can I win you to this point? Not in a idealistic way that everyone was going to become a revolutionary, but as Chairman Fred say, setting the stage where everyone should be able to be at least commit a revolutionary act.
So we want to talk about the campaign now,
yes.
But I did have one more question. When you were growing up, or let me say when you got into your 20s and 30s, because that's such a changing time for all of us as adults and human beings, have you ever felt the weight of your father's legacy? Has it ever weighed you down, or have there ever been times when you have said to yourself, or that this is what I'm trying to say. I have seen, especially elders, who watch you speak, yes, and they'll say, "Oh my God, that's Fred Hampton speaking."
Yeah.
I mean, and me and Justice, as you know, like, we're always, every time we watch you, I'm like, "Oh my God," like, it's there, obviously, like, you are your father's son. But have there been times where that ever felt heavy for you, or it was because you were raised up in that way, that it's just part of who you are as Fred Hampton Jr. yourself?
Majority of my 20s, and close to my 30s, my early 30s, I was held captive. I was a political prisoner, but and I went through, I'm just, when you asked the question, I just flashed back. I mean, it was times in my life that I thought I wasn't gonna make it to 20. I thought he gonna. It's a lyric from Face from Ghetto Boy. It says, "My dad, they're gonna do me like they did my daddy. I didn't make it to 22, but I thought about that. In fact, they gave me the name Deja Vu when I was in Menard. When Chairman Fred Sr. was there in Menard in 1969. I was there in 1999, and I remember hearing the word. I remember.
You said when you were incarcerated, that it was like a daily reminder that they would say something to you or show you a picture or line you up and harass you
Yes.
with that. So just for people who don't know, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. was incarcerated as well, in one of the worst prisons in the country. And one of the things that he talked about a lot, and I learned about, was how they can always, and just not do your father in the face, but we're like, anytime we could take you out.
Yes.
So you say there were times you didn't think you would survive, but yes, I just wanted to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I don't know if people know that.
Yes, I was given, a trumped up case, and after the rebellions in regards to the case of Rodney King, and during the quote unquote trial, it was made very clear my real quote unquote crime. In the state's attorneys, ironically, and the judge who convicted me, the judge who sent me, the judge who gave me 18 years, is one of the most politically connected judges in Cook County. That's the judge that they just placed on the Justice Smollett in the state's attorney case. The same judge that gave Chief Malik Jeff Ford his state's time. The same judge that any movies like The Fugitive are filmed, they're filmed in his courtroom. So that's Judge Tooman is the one that gave me the time. And in the trial, they made it clear, aren't you the son of Fred Hampton? Don't you believe this? They made they didn't beat, for lack of a better term, they didn't beat around the bush with it. They made upfront about it. But I was fortunate that I didn't get I just didn't learn this on a reactionary way. I mean, I was armed with it, but I do recall, before I seen footage of Chairman Fred, I recall speaking and trying to hold my hands down or trying to slow my speaking down. And then when I seen footage of him, I said, "Oh, I'm good with that." I recall, before my receding hairline coming in, the nappy head, my auntie and everybody just said, "What you mean?" He's like your daddy, you know what I'm saying? And I come into contact with actual people that he's had situations with, in some cases, the offspring of some of their fathers, what I'm saying, and mothers, and they told me some war stories it's like man, it's mind boggling. But I've always I feel honored and humbled to have fallen from the tree of two freedom fighters. You know what I'm saying? Again, of Delta Chairman Fred and also of Cool and Jerry. But I don't romanticize either. I know it's a lot of heat that comes with it, and I'm still. I mean, I've heard. I was on the interview yesterday, and the daughter of Delbert Africa of Move Not, Yvonne, she's Delbert Africa, who's locked up. We're trying to get him released ASAP because they talking about he had a certain amount of days to live. We finally get him out, but his daughter Yvonne was talking about when she came to put her daughter in school, and they almost got through the whole process, and then she said, "You look familiar." And once they found out, she made the connection. You know, what I'm saying her daughter, the whole process was over with. They couldn't get into the school. I think about so many cases. You know, what I'm saying. I mean, where the police have had my files. You know, what I'm saying, assassination attempts. You know, what I'm saying, and I know I'm clear that I'm in their eyes of the state. I'm a 3-strike offender. One, just for being African. Two, for being the son of Chairman Fred and the Cool and Jerry. And three, for continuing to fight for liberation of my people. And I'm clear of that.
Yeah, and Dilbert Africa, for folks that don't know, is part of a group called the Move Nine, and in the recent last year and a half, some of them have been released. But Dilbert Africa is very, very sick, and this is, if for folks who don't know, please look up who the Move organization is, and that the mayor of Philadelphia, a black mayor, whose last name was Good. You can actually see a really, it's very intense. So one of the documentaries about the Move family, but it was one of the other times where a entire city block was bombed. They bombed the Move family, right? Because they were self-determining and didn't want anything to do with the state. And at that time, Mumia Abu-Jamal, who was a reporter at first, at this time, also started following the teachings of John Africa. So many people may know who Mumia Abu-Jamal is, but they don't know that there was also people that were killed that day, including babies, and then political prisoners, many of them now almost in their 40th year. So Fred, as we close this out, we're going to keep doing these throughout the month as
Right
much as
on.
we can do them. And we hope to be at the Hampton House on, the comrades will be at the Hampton House on August 30th. I hope to be there. That's what I'm going
Right
to
on.
say. But we're also going to do a live stream hopefully that day.
Right on.
But let's talk about the campaign right now. We are in a campaign where for at least the last couple of years, very intensely, you and your comrades and everyone in Black Panther Party pubs and paws and those people are trying to save the childhood home of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. And let me say, I've been there twice in the last year and a half, but the first night I got there, I saw I saw Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. middle school diploma, and then seeing things that I had only seen in books or never seen. And we have to save this house for two reasons. First and foremost, we have to save it because it's part of the legacy.
Yes.
And especially in the United States of America, people want to save poets' houses that you never heard of.
Yes.
Or poets' houses that have really no impact in the world, right?
Yes.
And secondly, we got to raise up our babies to understand that this exists.
Yes.
This is a legacy that will be passed down to you. And it's not just a archival museum house. It's you're running programs out of there. You have a garden that you're growing.
Yes.
So if you could talk a little bit about the campaign, but let me just tell folks right now, no amount of money is too small.
That's right.
You can Google GoFundMe, Save the Hampton House. And for those of you on Twitter, please, let's get Save the Hampton House trending, because we are time is of the essence right now to raise part of the $350,000 so that you can continue to do what is needed to do, especially around renovations and repairs, to save the house.
Yes. This is the childhood home of Chairman Fred. This is I mentioned earlier about the one of the cases they had given him, the ice cream truck robbery, right on that corner, like literally on that corner. That's where the case occurred at. Right across the street is the elementary school that he went to. Is one brother, I think he's about 73. He had said to me, he said, Chairman Fred, he said, please, he said, don't get rid of nothing. He said, do you understand that these are the dishes that Chairman Fred ate out of? And I said back in the joke, I said in a joking way, I said, no, I know my grandmother, most likely these are still out of the same dish, some of the same dishes, you know. But
I know the china, right?
Yes,
your grandmother.
It's still there. The chair my grandfather sat in, the bed that Chairman Fred, before he was Chairman Fred, it was there. And the historical significance, I negated to mention earlier, the FBI had placed a wiretap on his home when he was 14 years old. He had just at the age of 13, he took the junior NAACP from 7 to 300 members in about 7.5 month time period. When Washington, D.C. called for a wiretap on his phone, they thought it was a typo. They said it has to be an error. He can't be this young. They had recognized his organized capability. It was a swimming pool in Maywood. Black children were not allowed to go to the swimming pool. He went and challenged that. That's how black children got there. And tell you how crazy, how eerie some of this stuff is. Last week, we had went and challenged the officials at this same swimming pool that was locked up. Now it's named after him. It's called the Fred Hampton Pool. But children are not allowed to go there. So we went and called a question. So we got a call today, and they told me if I need to find 4 lifeguards, and then we can open the swimming pool back up. So I just want to put that out there too, though. This just happened just now. This home is again the famous brown corduroy blazer that he wore. I can't don't look on my mother's face and open up, and I kind of got upset with her when she held the blazer because I was like, you didn't tell me, bitch. It was so much information that she, that triggered that she got to talk about, about her husband, her comrade. And you know what I'm saying, and party members have come by there, and they talk about they remember stopping through there with Chairman Fred, and before he went to Canada to get the coat. It's so many. It opens. It's a political box of conversation in history that for different reasons we have not had the opportunity, the space, and you know what I'm saying, the venue to talk about. And the school, you could look at the transformation with the children. That I mean, literally, their walks are different. I mean, I mean, when they hear, they say, "We can't believe he grew up right here." I mean, them little guys, them boys and girls, their pride. They stop at the say the Hampton House Community Garden. The people are, I mean, they taking it on to in fact, we say it's bigger than that building. It's more significant than the structure. The whole community, and you know what I'm saying, and making leaps and bounds. We have to. I'm saying this as objective as I can. We have to say the Hampton House. You know, again, the house that Chairman Fred Hampton grew up in. It's a community anchor. Is I mean, the discussion that's happening now. You know, so I mean, I sit there at nighttime. And I mean, I'm my opening. I get. I feel I'm a my political theory, everything to be right there in that same location. You know, politics is like real estate, time and location, all that. We got the location. We're talking about timing. This is his. His birthday is coming up August 30th. Let's give him a real birthday present. Let's get his house back. You know what I'm saying? This December 4th is the 50th year after the assassination. You can't beat this with a hammer. The time is right there for us. You know what I'm saying? There's no way possible. We're not letting it go. So so we calling them the people, the same people that Chairman Fred served. And every day people are coming through. It's $150 bill we gonna save. This little sister who grew up in the neighborhood, she talking about the impact her family had from Chairman Fred Hampton. And I say, I want to frame that $50 bill right there. It's again, the programs we're doing, it's inspiring and it's making leaps and bounds. And again, how we have to save the home of Chairman Fred Hampton. People want to come out there and see for themselves if they can. 804 South 17th Avenue, Maywood, Illinois. They can't make it there. We just got a phone call this morning. Pam Africa and Janine Africa, they're going to be coming in August 30th and 31st. They're coming in. You know what I'm saying? Just get out. And you know what I'm saying? People, I'm getting calls from all over. They said, we coming there and we really going to build up for December the 4th. They said, we don't care how cold it is. We're going to make sure we take care of this here. Be on the right side of history. Make sure that somewhere, if you go back and pull up that receipt from GoFundMe.com, save the Hampton House, we had to put number 50 on it at the end. You know what I'm saying? Because the differentiated. Pull that receipt up to your grandchildren. Say, I helped save that institution. I helped save the Hampton House. So we need people who say, whatever they can do, come on, GoFundMe.com, save the Hampton House 50, support.
Yeah, and we have to. I mean, and I think in this time right now, with this administration, that I think many of us have to change our thinking right now.
Yes,
is it about what this administration is doing? Is it about reacting all the time to the clown show and the circus that's happening and the anxiety that people are feeling and depression? I think part of that is because people don't see what they can do opposed to how they react. And something Angela Davis always says is, she went from fighting against something to fighting for something. And this is what we need to fight for.
Yes, indeed.
Because whatever's happening in the larger world, if you don't have the politics to understand, if in 2019 people are still asking inane, silly questions about, is this president racist? Leave that conversation alone right now.
Yeah.
We have to, like you said, it's an institution that we have to say, but it's also, we can win this.
No doubt.
And intergenerationally we can win it, but also many of us have to change our thinking about reacting to the craziness and working towards liberation.
No doubt.
So I'll let you have the last word. So everybody, go to GoFundMe, save the Hampton House, Twitter, Facebook, Insta. We're going to keep doing this. We will be streaming live on August 30th to celebrate the life of Fred Hampton Sr. But we have enough in our community to save this house within these next 20 days. Okay? This is something that we can win, and that's self-determining, and it's about our people. I'll let you have the last word, though, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr.
Good thanks. I thank all those. I thank you. I thank those who tuned in, who listened in. I thank those who've already supported. I thank those who are planning on support. I thank everyone who sent some money to the GoFundMe, Save the Hampton House 50. I thank those who brought bottles of water to the house, those who dropped paint by there. I thank those who said who had no money, who came back and say, I can help pick up some boxes. I can help clean up. I can clean up around here when the basement floods. I think we thank the people. We thank the people. We need you. We get to up the ante. Again, this is opening up so many discussions. In fact, the recorder of deeds for Cook County said this is one of the most bogus cases of predatory lending. They seen what they did to my grandparents, and we using this as for a template for what's going on in our community all around. I'm talking about we not just talking about the Rainbow Coalition back then. We draw a coalition. So we had actual events there. We also the Brown Berets there, and so many other forces. We working with right now. Again, we have the Triple C Saturday. Children Community Clubs on every Saturday. We organize it, but we want to keep it there. Do not wait until it's too late. Do not wait till it's become a safe subject. Go, make that move now. Again, let's make sure we get Chairman Fred a real birthday present, y'all, August 30th, that we have this house secured. Again, y'all, GoFundMe.com, save the Hampton House 50. Get in contact with us, y'all. Again, Chairman Fred can't see about us. Let's go see about Chairman Fred. Free Chuck Africa, free deal with Africa, free Sunday out of Cola. What's I call free them all, y'all. Again, let's get you. We need y'all live and direct. Come on, save the Hampton House. We need y'all support.
We're going to end this here and post it, but you can also join Freedom on Radio as Chairman Fred does his show. And as your father always said, dare to struggle, dare to win. Love you, Conrad.
Let me right back at you. Right on. No doubt about it. Yes, indeed. Give thanks. We live and direct, y'all. We just had a phenomenal 7:30 now. We still live and direct on this end, y'all. We came with different. We up and in with different modes of technology. I think we Instagram, Facebook. Y'all know how we do intellectual radio. We got everything. So we coming through. If y'all got any comments, come on in with that. Y'all hit us up 708-223-8953 or 929-477-3785. In the spirit of making history, taking history, taping history. Let me again reiterate. Let me thank y'all with those who tune in. Let me thank all my comrades, the community, the people who have been online thus far. But as Minister UEP News said, a revolutionary is never satisfied, y'all. So again, we need to up the ante. Again, go put it out. GoFundMe.com. Save the Hampton House 50, y'all. Chairman Fred Jr. at gmail.com via PayPal. Come through yourself directly. Hey, take it to the old school. How we come through. Hey, I hear about the stories, and they say after December the 4th, when they would after the assassination of the Chairman Fred and Defense of Demar Clark, I heard about people riding past 2350 West Madison, Illinois chapter headquarters for Black Panther Party. They throwing money at the headquarters. Get that pregnant sister up out of there, man. Get that pregnant girl up out of there. Get them, bond them up out of there. The people coming through. You know what I'm saying? That's again our most valuable resource, y'all. Our most valuable resource. Let's create a groundswell. People say, what about all these famous entertainers? What they do? Y'all know, hey, they let y'all know it's about business with them. Y'all, let's make them understand what's our business, what's our priority, y'all. Our priority is our people, our legacies, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let's defend it, let's protect it, respect it, and never neglect it, y'all. Y'all live and direct, y'all. Any callers and cues to the comrade?
The chairman of callers and queue. Callers, please press 1 to come in queue. Free them all.
I see y'all in line.
We have caller 434.
Welcome.
Co-host in the building.
Hey, right on. Co-host in the building. Hey, what's going on? We riding. What's happening? How you feel?
Yes, we riding. Yes, sir. I was just listening in, and this is definitely something that has to be done. That will be done. Not has to be, will be. And
that's right.
I was listening to when Rosa mentioned William O'Neill and how Chairman trusted him. And as soon as she said it, I was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case. Matter of fact, I know that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that may not know, he was on the verge of being outed. Like, you out of here. Like, he rocks and be gone. But the powers that be wanted him, they fought for him to stay in there. And I didn't know if you were going to address that or not. I was hoping that you were gonna touch more on how he was not that trusted man that people thought, Chairman trusted him and whatnot, but he was, a purge was ensued. So I don't know if that's something you still, you might be able to touch on now or not, but definitely some great listening there.
And I was studying other movements and other um what's the term, the settings of prior to assassinations or what have you, and it was something like in this, how the state they studied before they make certain moves, and I heard different discussions, like even with leadership with different street tribes, how they certain contradictions were on the verge of being exposed. Even Dr. King before his assassination, what I'm saying, coming to grips with certain things, and I struggled to put it in a um objective setting, because a lot of times in different schools of thought, or even if it's same schools of thought, if it's a different time period, a lot of times it's I try to it's hard to relate to, like, what I'm saying, like say we can play what they say, Monday morning quarterback, and we look back and say, well, man, what about this, what about that? And there was so many different dynamics, so I was trying to set the setting of that, and also, like I say, procure every bit of information I can to really, it's certain, like even as individual, that, what I'm saying, there's certain moves, and I'm tripping over it, because I'm flashing back to that name they gave me in Menard, that deja vu. A lot of things it'd be so spooky that I go through. You know what I'm saying? That I can feel, and so I try to speak about it like third person, very objectively, but even struggling to put those in context, so people can, it's certain things that as an individual, we say, are we ready to call this question, or say, and always one of the, I'm gonna say this term, I'm gonna say this hesitantly, one of the setbacks of being a servant of the people, and I may be saying it wrong, but one of the setbacks is, even if you're ready as an individual, but if the people are ready for certain things, you follow what I'm saying? I'm talking, I'm phenomenal, right on question, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of things that because even I think, especially when we talk about the dynamic of agent provocateurs, and it's something that in counterinsurgency, that's something that our community, a lot of us, that we really, the different intricacies of it, we really are not hip to. Like, even with this assassination, with the state taking out with this guy Jeffrey Epstein, and people in the white community, and people are, and a lot of people in the black community, they're at minimum, they're questioning about this whole thing, about saying he committed suicide. And they understanding the machinery of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a conversation that's happening now. People saying, wait a minute, the guards were supposed to sleep. This other cellmate got transferred. So it's just not midst of his one person. You know what I'm saying? And so even with the dynamic of William O'Neill, we want to heighten the contradictions, so the machinery of it. That's why I went to the whole thing about the psychological profile. You know what I'm saying? Who put him in play? You know what I'm saying? We want to, you know what I'm saying, all this type of conversation, you know what I'm saying, so people can even look at it. And I'm saying, and people say, how can you do objective about this dude supplied the floor plan to take out Chairman Fred? But the dynamics of the counterinsurgency, a lot of us can't believe they would go to this extent. The state would go to this extent to do this. A lot of people don't believe Nipsey or other people got assassinated, because a lot of people don't believe black people are worthy of being assassinated. William O'Neill. I was in the Cook County jail with a guy that grew up with William O'Neill. He was fearful to come to me, talk to me. Before, he thought something would go down. I said, no, bring him to the table. So we sit down, and he said to me, he said he grew up with William O'Neill, but it really messed him up when he talked about the dynamics, how issues William O'Neill had, and his father and his family, so on and so forth. But some of these he said stuck out with me. He said, he really did not understand the list that the FBI would go to. And you know what I'm saying? It's with black people, when he seen William O'Neill, he didn't recognize him. He had plastic surgery. And that he said he had see, and he said and this is for our listeners. I want to make sure I put this in correct context. I know a lot of youngsters, they like, okay, so what's the big deal? This is before the Kardashians. This is before so this so this is way before this. So I know plastic surgery now ain't no big thing no more, but this is that, what I'm saying. So I want to struggle for that conversation to happen, for us to, what I'm saying. Because a lot of us, we just believe somebody snitched and they turned bad. For somebody to put an actual program, what I'm saying, together to infiltrate, what I'm saying, the government have created contending organizations back then as they do now. They do now. What I'm saying? And so I want to see, what I'm saying, encourage the conversation. And I think we need to have like a follow-up on dealing, what I'm saying, with that. What I'm saying, like a lot of times we do say, well, this person, like, if a person to even be with someone, they have to be liking them, or the only reason that they go on, they don't like them, as opposed to, as you mentioned, the party. There were different concrete political dynamics they dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Explosions, even the structure, all that purges, so on and so forth. And our people, a lot of us, the conversation, it'd be premature for them to even grasp that. Like I said, look at the case of this individual, Jeffrey Epstein. People are, they are even that's first of all, it's an emotional. When you hear the resume of this individual, it's easy to dismiss, like, okay, man, I don't care what happened to, what happened to him. However, there's a climate where people are saying, no, yeah, we can still take that position. However, to have a context of American history, how they would get down on you, how they got down on you. And, they may do the guy who they put in the cell with him, they might pull, what's his name? Jack Ruby, the one who they had run up on Oswald, who they say killed Kennedy. But for the Black community, and we have more blatant examples, and people say, oh, no, I can't believe, you had a case with this individual, the guy on MC Hustle, Eric Holder, he said himself the government paid him, and people said, no, ain't no government. And and this is important to once the grasp on how, what I'm saying, a lot of I say we'll take it, we'll run with it. Okay, just an individual, went back. We want to win y'all to say, man, go Google, check out COINTELPRO. You know what I'm saying? The count over 90% of it was directed to the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? They had a certain person in the penthouse in Oakland, California, to get a room next to Minister U.E.P. Newton, and their only job was to study the afterthoughts of Minister U.E.P. Newton. But I'll acknowledge this. Go ahead, my fault. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It does. It's that old saying go. Saying more things change, the more they stay the same. A lot of dynamics are, it triggers. I like, whoa. I think about that name they gave me, deja vu, and I'm saying, and I'm still learning about the party's history, and I'm still gaining more and more respect, which that's what I think is impossible. But the whole dynamic, of that, the intricacies, what I'm saying, and the politics. I know that we just put it out there too, what I'm saying. How can I say, without the dynamics that it deserves, a lot of times we are not afforded. How can I say this? We're not afforded the opportunity to get something that has the political trappings that come with it. So we're told, in many cases, this person just a white dude just killed Dr. King, or black on black crime. This happened. We see in Chicago or Chirac. You know what I'm saying? If this was happening, if it was this many white poodles that were dying every day, there would be some political analysis to it. There'll be some. At least they would say, wait a minute, the kennels. There's some political agencies involved with this. Look at what they're doing to our people, and the audacity to say, we don't even they don't even give us no faces. We automatically, I watch the Facebook, it'd be a black person murdered automatically. Man, we gotta stop killing each other. Could you at least wait till they frames a black person? You know what I'm saying? It's out of, and even with the, and they tried to take out Chairman Fred a number of ways, the state. They tried to get the Stones to do it, tried to get the Vice Lords to do it. They tried different individuals, you know what I'm saying? But this, the heightened the contradictions where they had to come in there, their uniforms. The police came in their uniform. And I believe to this day, if they had not come in their uniforms, people would still be saying, well, I don't know, man. You know, it could have been the same police. They could have waited till they got off duty. People would have been like saying to, well, they just they the system didn't do that. This is we have an opportunity, a direct dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Even who O'Neal later on in life, you know what I'm saying? Who he worked with, who continued to hold him up, and you know what I'm saying, after the assassination. It's so much. It's go ahead, Coach.
No, I was gonna say, when he looking back on some of the film and footage that he spoke in, and how he seemed to, he had an air about himself, like he had done something great, and that he was about to be rewarded. Like he looked like he felt like he was one of them. Like I'm on, but no, you just did a job that they wanted you to do. You was the pawn. You one of them. You were used. And I was gonna say, when you were talking about how the government get down on you, and I was gonna bring up Gary Webb, who I believe he was the guy who exposed the CIA with the old Rick Freeway Rick and that whole get down, and then they said he committed suicide. 2 shots to the back of the head.
Yes.
Man, that just doesn't seem. I mean, go figure. So you know what's happening, and you know that, hey, he didn't do that. Y'all did that. But I just wanted to point that out. Like, so many telltale signs, and so many trails of what the government will do and how they will do it. And like you said, people are not just believing what's put out there. They are questioning. They're like, nah, that don't add up. That don't seem right.
Yes.
So you're not. The wool is being pulled from over the eyes of a lot of people. They're beginning to see a lot of things and questioning things.
And in many cases, they pick it, and they like even the case of Gary Webb, who was, I think, the 4th journalist who they say committed suicide, who happened to be also writing an expose about George Bush Jr. And what's unique about this era of time is, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not a Trump advocate for listeners. I don't want y'all to say, oh, the dynamic of Trump, you know what I'm saying, of the era, you know what I'm saying. I mean, they on his heels now, but the tweet that he retweeted about, you know what I'm saying, about Jeffrey Epstein. If you look at some of Trump's speeches during the campaign, I mean, the reaction there, however, he said, don't trust the system. You know what I'm saying? He said the system is rigged. This is out of Trump's mouth. And so this is the era of time. Like I told somebody yesterday, I said, okay, I tell you what. I asked an individual yesterday, I say, do you believe that Epstein was took out? Man, forget that. I said that dude, he's a pedophile. I said, okay, I'm not. I said, do you believe he was took out? He said, okay, yes. I said, ask you one more question. What do you believe would have been the response of the previous administration? What with the system, you know what I'm saying, would have been any thought that there was some intricacies of, you know what I'm saying, that as opposed to what he said, you're right. I say, what type of, way, let's go along, wait till the process reveal itself, so on and so. When you have a blatant example, you know what I'm saying, because the deal is we're not going to get any gift wrapped, especially, say our community, gift wrap analysis, say, okay, this happens, so on and so forth. But this is what even terms, you know what I'm saying? Like even with Trump, in fact, he had called for the Kennedy files to be reopened, and our response was, let's seize the time. We called for the files on Chairman Fred Hampton to be open, and just sometimes it's just from certain people just to ask the question. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like we know Malcolm said who got out on Kennedy when it first happened. People, he crazy, paranoid. Oliver Stone, I'm making a movie about it. People say, I think the government has to do with killing Kennedy. So just this time right now, just even the question, because there's so many. This like during the tenure of Richard Nixon, who also was a react. He was so Richard Milhouse Nixon, U.S. President Richard Milhouse Nixon was so reactionary. He told him, put wires in here. They said, sir, this where you live at. He said, I don't care. Put wired up, wire for sound. But the climate, the party, the political, the climate was up, where, you know, and the correlations drawn. It's sad to say, it had to be examples and seen in other communities. You know what I'm saying? People seeing Vietnam, the political prison. In fact, the media said one of the biggest errors about mistakes were, you know, showing the images of Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that was going, they've been getting down on all the time. You know what I'm saying? But so this era right now, just for someone, the question, say, man, this happens, or it's a question about it. I mean, you in many cases they just can say, somebody died in prison. You know what I'm saying? That end the conversation. We know how to, you know, like you know, we communicate amongst each other. You know, do it in talking to barbershop and the beauty shop. You know, we know the government bringing in drugs, but a lot of times we ignore it in a reactionary sort of way, where we'll say the government bringing in drugs, but then we'll call the same government agencies to come get rid of the drugs. You know what I'm saying? We even with the police murdering us, we have these you see us talking about the police killed someone. We need another investigation from the other police, huh? You know what I'm saying? Even if we don't do nothing, at least but up the ante, say we don't trust any of y'all. They are forced to even lie to us. Come with some better, more creative, you know what I'm saying, lies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even this discussion now, again, I'm not to keep on going back to this case, but it's something that I really want to seize the time about this Epstein thing, because again, it's that within the last few days, it's come. They're talking about the warden being fired, his cellmate being transferred, and I don't know if y'all seen the image of the person that was in the cell with him. I don't know if y'all listen, the viewers have seen that. Type in Mark Tartaglione. Mark Tartaglione. I think it's Tartaglione. Excuse me, not Mark. Nicholas. Excuse me, Nicholas. This is the cellmate in the cell with Jeffrey Epstein. Former New York Police Department officer, locked up for taking out headshots, 5 members of the cartel on the drug deal going bad. Again, I repeat, a former New York Police Department officer. This dude, like, he eat, drink, and slept on steroids. Man, this is the one that was in the cell with him. And this is what I'll be talking about when I'm talking psychological profile. They can put they know the MO, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So check this, so check it out. But again, just to tag team what you were pointing out, Coles, we do encourage people. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a discussion of O'Neal. And like I say, I want to, it's something that really people may, in the early process, they're like, man, well, you just come on, get to the chase. Believe me, it's something that's needs to be, you know what I'm saying? It's tied into, we owe it to Babatunde Omowale. We owe it to so many other forces. We owe it to Babatunde, who was assassinated on the railroad tracks in Chicago when O'Neal came back with blood on his shirts to the Illinois chapter headquarters. We owe it to Jerry Odinga Dunnigan, number C-8100098, I believe, who's been locked up as a result of some case that William O'Neal was involved in. We owe it to so many scenarios, you know what I'm saying, and so many individuals. And again, and we hit this objectively, we hit this thing, this dynamic, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This individual, this criminal who was put in place to be a pallbearer at Chairman Fred's funeral. This individual who, we went to his funeral services. The widow of Chairman Fred said, I'm not sure if that's him in that casket. You know what I'm saying? And they don't, like I said, I talked to the guys about the plastic surgery. We owe it to the legacy of the Black Panther Party. Say, what was this organization of brothers and sisters ranging from ages 14 to 24 years old that they invested the resources? This guy in turn snitched. They had him go join the Black Panther Party. What was to this organization that former U.S. Attorney General John Mitchell said they had to be destroyed by the end of 1969. The J. Edgar Hoover said they represented the number one threat to the internal security since that of the Civil War. What is to that organization to this day that people are continuously trying to obliterate or malign or water down that legacy? And what's to this? Let's fight to save this house that he grew up in so we can have this conversation. Let's move forward the campaign to save the Hampton House. We have an opportunity. The house that he grew up in, as the brother told me, Chairman, don't get rid of the dishes, man. He said, do you understand these are dishes that Chairman Fred? He got let's seize the time, y'all. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. Let's save the Hampton House, y'all. GoFundMe.com, save the Hampton House 50. Save the Hampton House. Chairman Fred Jr. gmail.com via PayPal, y'all. We live and direct, y'all. It's Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Robin Allen, aka the Lady of Rage, y'all. Yes, indeed. Y'all feel free. Y'all feel free to call in, cub in, do what it do. Make history, take history, tape history. Yes, indeed.
Not getting off of that, the guy you were saying about the killer cop that was in the cell is Nicholas Tartaglione.
Did y'all see the image? You see the image of him? The picture of him?
Yeah. And it even described him as a hulking figure.
Yeah. This is one who was placed in the cell with Jerry Epstein. You know, yes, indeed.
Right.
Some people headshots.
4 people buried them on his property.
Yeah. So this ain't his first rodeo. Some them people just commented that some old guys in the barbershop say a lot of people believe that O'Neal is still alive, and that's something. Even with that, the kind of surgery, you know what I'm saying? Some people believe, that's some people say think about Epstein. Some people say that they believe they smoking him out the country. You know, man, it's but just for the conversation to be out, you know what I'm saying, that we just don't, it's not just simple life and death, you know what I'm saying? They ain't Hoffa's body ain't popped back up yet, you know what I'm saying? So ain't no telling, but at minimum, let's acknowledge that the county surgeons involved. O'Neal may be in hiding somewhere, you know what I'm saying? What's the guy's name? Starts with an R. The guy who delivered the fatal shot on Commandante Ernesto Che Guevara. He was, I can't recall this criminal's name, but he was brought back. He was on payroll for the U.S. and he was some big bulletproof card with George Bush Sr., I believe, and they had moved him around different places. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they like chess pieces. They have no issue with moving an individual around or taking individuals out. Real talk, y'all. Yes, indeed. I just shout y'all out today. Y'all came in. I'm gonna shout all y'all out before we close out this here. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to tweet. I need y'all to. Y'all know it's rough. You get the chairman. They on my heels. Get on Twitter. I'm gonna go and get on Twitter. I'm gonna go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. I'm even open to going places I said I would never go. I'm open to going. I'm open to going to Canada. I said I would not go to Canada because you know what I'm saying. After Malcolm came back 2 weeks after Malcolm came, he got assassinated. I heard Chairman Fred 2 weeks after he came in Canada got assassinated. But I don't want to look back and might say it was something out of the deal we could have saved the house. So I'm open for it, y'all. So y'all give us a heads up. You know what I'm saying? We here. We live and direct. Y'all feel free to call in, cub in with us, y'all. That's what it is. Go ahead, Cozy. Love Joe, Nikki, Marcus, Becca, Vestria, William, Erica Yesko, Malik Ishmael, Raymond Richard, Angie B, Antonio Brown, Steve McNeil, Cool Angel Dixon, Sharakian, Faja, Mother Comrade, Monique, some comrade Daphne, Fundisha, Frazier, Larry Drain, Kobe, Lil Joe, Fremont Storack, Latanya, Cortez, Anthony Holmes, Dominique, Jack Jackson, Mustafa, Conrad Razakhan, the Field Marshal, Jocks, Erica, yes indeed, Free Chuck Africa, no doubt about it, Angel Dickinson, Right Stan, Yogi, yes indeed, Rebecca, no doubt about it. The Rashad Birdsong, Tony Jackson, yes indeed, Yogi, again, Angel Dickinson, Fred Miller, the Field Marshal, Erica, Mother Conrad, Cool, Tiffany Billions, Angel Dixon, Roger, Angel Dickinson, yes indeed, Shannon Haynes, Summer Breeze, Robert Money, Kemet, Mario Trotter, Trent, Claire Brillen, Ray Jones, Claire Brennan, Tracy TJ Jennings in the building, Joe, yes indeed, Rossilon, this Joe, Red, okay, right on, okay, good to see you, no doubt about it. Nikki Nicole, right on. Fremont, her Nikki in the building, Rossilon in the building, St. Hampton, that's right, that's what it is. Rossilon, right on. Y'all, we need y'all on deck. Need y'all to tweet that. That's what it is. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. Go ahead. Yeah, so we live and direct, y'all. Y'all call in. Got our co-hosts in the building with us.
Yeah. So on August 30th, Chairman, what's in store?
I just got a phone call this morning. I'm still, you know what I'm saying, Minister Confrontation.
I heard.
So
I heard that one.
Pam Africa and now make sure I get the Janet and Janine just got out. Janine, they got to do what we call octopus tactic. They got to be 8 places at one time. So Janet, if I'm correct, Janet, they had to be in the event in DC. Janine is going to be on deck. And if y'all check out the testimony from, they've been going through. But that's the 30th Chairman Fred's birthday. Oh man, Mike Africa just thinking about the pictures. Mike Africa and Debbie Africa just get out. We charged up. We never not satisfied though. Delbert Africa, they say 72 hours a day. We still fighting to get Delbert Africa back out. Chuck Africa and some of the others. You know what I'm saying? Our money in the building, no doubt about it. That's what it is. Vegas in the building, that's what it is. That's the 30th, comrade. That's the 30th. 31st. We've been gonna do the block party. I get these flyers together too. On at the Hampton House, but every go down to the site, which it's ground zero. That's at high noon. And we honored to have a virtual tour. I mean, I heard this happen. What I heard is you got the widow that's gonna tell you what happened. Hey, man, ain't gonna no gospel great who was there. That's gonna be going down. They ain't going to the wall. Now you're in China. You say go to the Great Wall in China. You're gonna have the Great Wall on Madison, California. We got to redo that wall too, y'all. So we need to get it redone. We're gonna get that done. That's the 30th. Then the 31st. And really, this again, those who don't make this, y'all. The free party. Yes. The decent. And technically the warm up because. We really need everybody to be on deck for this December 4th too, y'all. I see y'all flinching when I say that. This is the 50th year. The 50th year of the assassination of Chairman Frederick Clark. They're gonna be coming trying to hijack this legacy, y'all. We gotta by the end, this house should be secured. There ain't no F should be, it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? We make sure we want to make sure we're gonna have a live telethon. The bank's got a September date to make another move. I told y'all handcuffs and caskets before we abandon it. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, y'all. We're gonna be constantly moving, but we need to organize the funds. We need y'all to GoFundMe. We have GoFundMe.com. We got that. Save the Hampton House 50. We need y'all support. We're gonna have another live stream. Follow up on the telethon, getting the word out. You know what I'm saying? Man, we got to get on top of this here, y'all. It kind of cuts me even at the house in Atlanta, Dr. King's house. The government got that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of cuts me on that. You know what I'm saying? And this is like an insult to our people, y'all. We need, man, let's make sure we save this Hampton House. When Napoleon hit through them 21 shots, 21 blows at that nose of the Sphinx in Africa, that was strategic moves. Those are cannonballs that man that hit us, and it still hurts. You know what I'm saying? When you hit that nose, is what they said, knock the negroid features off that nose. You know what I'm saying? We, man, listen, this is, man, hey, we got to, y'all, man, with the stuff that we doing without nothing. Man, get the resource. If y'all got some paint, some access to resources, some paint, some bottled water, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Get that over there, y'all. Again, man, hit us up at chairmanfredjr@gmail.com on PayPal. Get a GoFundMe, GoFundMe, you know what I'm saying? This is going on. We got to make history, take history. So December 4th, get y'all coach, you know what I'm saying? Because, hey, man, it's going down. It's going down. I'm going step by step, man, you know what I'm saying? But again, we have been deprived of venue, you know what I'm saying? But again, opportunity, you know, location. Politics is like real estate, time and location, you name it. Time and location, you know what I'm saying? And this, man, I sit there, my pen and pad sometimes. I just, you know what, man, I'm having flashback, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. Yeah. Then flashback on some things now. This the home that Chairman Fred grew up in, you know. As the brother said, got to. As Marcus Garvey said, failure is not an option, y'all. It's not an option. Real talk, y'all. Real talk. GoFundMe.com, say the Hampton House, y'all. Tweet that, Instagram. I'm going to go and get on this Twitter hesitantly. Oh, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on the Twitter. I'm going to get on that. Again, Mother Conrad put a call out the other day. Everybody contact 4 people that they 25. Hit them on Instagram. Some dude put out they talking about doing a movie on the Rainbow Coalition. Flood their Twitters, flood their Instagram, flood these. Say, man, what are you at on that Say the Hampton House campaign? If you touch down with Chairman Fred, put up there, y'all. It's up there, y'all. Real talk. We got the move coming in. You know what I'm saying? They already talking about they get their tickets for December the 4th already. You know what I'm saying? And for those who unknowingly, whether you be in that South or that West Coast, wherever else, you know what, you ain't got to be too that far. If you just not at this Midwest a little bit, get ready for that. It might be real cold this year, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. But we're going to be here. We're going to be here. Live and direct, y'all. Making history, taking history, and taping history, y'all. That's what it is. How we look. That time. Hey, it's been an honor. It is an honor. It's been an honor and it is an honor to serve. Y'all keep y'all heads up, y'all eyes on y'all fist clench, y'all. Again, GoFundMe.com/Save the Hampton House. Chairman Fred Jr. at Gmail via PayPal. We need y'all support, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Man, real talk. Well, thank you, Trent. Right on. Put the word out. That's what it is. Hey, y'all, this Saturday, Triple C Saturday, y'all. Again, we got work to do, y'all. As Chairman Fred said, we got to move fast and we got to move organized. Got to move fast and got to move organized. Hashtag, put that out there, you know what I'm saying? Say the Hampton House. Another episode. Again, there's another episode, Freedom on Radio, Intellectual Radio, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., and also Robin Allen, a.k.a. The Lady of Rage, y'all. Again, keep your heads up, eyes open, and fist clenched. Make history, take history, tape history. No doubt about it. Next week, Coach, give us some updates on, you know, how you been feeling, some moves. You've been making some moves, too. Need to give us some updates on that, too, on next show. All right, y'all.
Indeed.
Save the Hampton House. Take us out, Sister Conrad.
Save the Hampton House.
Give thanks. Yeah.